Happy New Year. Happy New Year, y'all. Welcome to our first episode of 2023, to which there's already some shit going down. Oh man. First and foremost, always acknowledge your tribal chief. That's number one. Always gotta throw that up out of respect. And number two, I am your man K Marvel. Due to work is our brother QS.
Me. That guy that they just that's me.
And we are three of your four corners of commentary. Pat out. So what's up, y'all? How was your New Year?
How was my New Year?
Wow.
At the blackjack tables in Atlantic City where I broke even.
Yeah, you did.
Broke even. I was playing blackjack, got an 18. It was just me and the dealer. Got an 18. He gets an ace, and then he gets a 9.
Ain't that about a bitch?
And that's one of the choice words I use to describe that.
Man, I don't blame you. Shit.
Wasn't just that word, but it's one of them.
You were playing with a live dealer?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I don't play with
I've
dealers. I'd much rather play with a human.
You say you rather play with Yugi?
I said a human.
Oh,
Yugi.
I thought I'd be like, that's wild.
Although there is a shadow on YouTube, if you want to see what it would look like for Yu-Gi-Oh to play poker, check that out.
Oh my god, I've seen that. That shit's wild. Wild. What about you, Strike?
Sick as a dog.
Ooh,
want to sleep.
No bueno. No bueno. Me, I just spent it with family, so it was easy, man. Simple, just chill. Court's in the building. Hey, brothers. She asked what onesie. It's a unicorn, man. It's a unicorn onesie. I got wings.
You're off. This man
I got
has
a tail and everything.
Mr. Marvel is embracing his inner furry.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yes, he's a furry, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm not.
Swing into his DMs for more furry play, ladies and gentlemen.
No. Yep. Don't swing in my DMs for none of that shit. All right.
Send him everything.
To all the furries. What's good?
Send him everything. Dog collars, feet pics. You know where to send it.
No, I'm good.
We'll throw the Twitter up at the end. We'll tell you where to send
it. Nope.
He'll tell you his Twitter himself.
My Twitter has been deactivated starting. Hold on. Excuse me now.
Send all the auxiliary content to that man's DM.
Oh, Jeebus. I hope not. But so all right. Listen, this year has already been a fucking whirlwind in the wrestling community.
Sorry.
So let's preface it like this. With 6 months ago, we know Vince McMahon was essentially booted. Get the fuck out. Because there was, some allegations. 6 months later, this man is back to being the chairman of the board. His daughter quit being co-CEO. And now they're talking about selling the company. So let's start with this. How do you feel about Vince McMahon bogarting his way back into the company?
As a fan, I don't like it. From a business perspective, all of this is his anyway. I know it's a publicly traded company. There's laws and there's bylaws and stuff like that. So it's going to be a couple of interesting months going forward. There's already a lawsuit about all this stuff, how he came back, because a lot of people. I was gonna
go in. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, a lot of people resigned, basically him coming back onto the board. But I don't necessarily like how it happened, how everything unfolded. But I also kind of understand it from his standpoint of owning something.
Yeah.
If he wants to sell his business, which people were trying to do, let's not sugarcoat that. They were looking for buyers for all this stuff. He wants to be the one to spearhead those negotiations, and he wants to be a part of it. With that said, I think that if anybody owns something, whether it be publicly traded or not, and they get ousted from the board and they had an opportunity to come back to spearhead their negotiations, they would probably take it. So, I think like much like ourselves, there's a lot of talking heads on the internet that, don't necessarily know the entirety of the situation. We're speculating just like we are, and are kind of looking at this from a lens of, well, it's Vince McMahon. He's a deplorable human being. We don't want him back with the company. It's his company. Like, he owns the goddamn company anyway. Like, he had the power to do this. So it's like he has the majority votes of the board and stuff like that. Now, the legalities of the situation, I think we're going to see unfold. A lot of people are going to learn a lot of different things, but he wanted to sell his business. It is his business. So I'm not mad at him from that standpoint. Like, if he owns it and he wants to sell it, go for it. He should be allowed to make the most amount of money he can for his business. So,
yeah, not wrong. Strike.
I'd like to go after. You have anything quick you want to say?
I just think, I mean, what more can I say? You know what I mean? I think it's bullshit at the end of the day. It doesn't make any sense to me. No, let me not say that. That's not true. The fact, excuse me, I'm sorry. The simple fact that I feel like he had to hold the company hostage, at least that's the perception of it, because I don't know if it's true or not, but the word on the street is that he wanted if he wasn't going to be bought back in, then he was going to let the media negotiations fall through. So the problem is that, first off, what the fuck? Number two, that's so immature, yo. Like, I understand that your company, but yo, there's rules to the game, and he know that, and this is why he's playing the cards that he's dealt. So I just think it's life isn't fair. I understand that, but this is crazy.
Well, I completely agree. I feel it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time to, have the company doing the best it's been doing in such a long time, and now you want to come back to what, just reach former glory, or feel like you're doing what you, or feel like you'll just reap the benefits of it after you put your son-in-law in position and you have your daughter running stuff. The place has been the most lively it's ever been, even if some storylines are kind of falling flat. It doesn't matter. Now, if you're coming in as a businessman and you're doing business things, then keep it just that. I shouldn't have to hear your name. I shouldn't have to hear that you're getting involved in creative. I shouldn't hear that people are consulting you about, oh, what should you do with this? What you should do with that? Keep it strictly business. You're there to do a job. If you're there to sell, then sell. I think as long as you sell to the best bidder, I won't say the highest bidder, even though we know who the highest bidder is.
Right.
But to sell to the most proper. Right. No, but I'm just saying the highest bidder, obviously.
Yes.
But I'm saying it doesn't make any sense to sell to the highest bidder. You have to sell to the best fit, the most compatible fit, I guess you could say.
Well,
yeah, the person who's going to make the company lucrative throughout the years.
Well,
and
yeah. I was going to say, well, a couple of things, just about, if I may have a retort. I mean, for what we know and for what he said, as far as the SEC filing, he's not getting involved in creative.
Right.
Right. So for now, legally speaking, we can at least take him for his legal word. But then again, he also said he would leave, so that remains to be seen.
And look what happened.
But for now, like, I think it's for the way things are going, like, we've not seen any of his fingerprints really on the shows. Like, when we see like Dancing Shanky and like Natalia farting backstage and people chasing around leprechauns for the 24/7 title, then we'll know Vince is truly back. But until now, we can safely assume that Triple H is still running creative, whatever have you. And quiet as kept. That's all really fans really care about. I think like they don't really give a damn about who gets sold where. Like, I think they really just care about the creative aspect of things.
Sadly, I wish that was true. I don't even think that's
to
a
an
factual
extent.
statement.
I think I'm not going to sit here and say like that. The implications of the WWE being sold to a specific buyer is not huge, and we'll have more on that later. But I think that most people low-key only really care about the creative direction of the company. And I think a lot of people like where it's going now because Triple H is at the helm and it's a fresh product. It's become fresher over the past couple of months. I think that most people don't necessarily want Vince in charge because of what's come out, but at the same token, it is his, like, if he wants to sell his company, then he wants to sell his company. Like, I can't hold that against him. Like, I think a lot of people who see like what's going on now, right? If they were in Vince's shoes, would probably want to do the same thing that he's doing. Personally. Yeah. I know that's just like a little bit of a generalization on my part, a little bit of speculation, but I can honestly think, I honestly think the way capitalism is and the way American society is, a lot of people would jump at the same chance the man is taking. I think it's a little bit unrealistic to say, oh, I wouldn't do this based on these morals. Yeah. Like, business has no morals. Like, let's be honest. Like, come on.
I think where the problem lies is that it's how things went down and who was involved in said situations. So you had the lead investigator. So you have your lead investigator who quit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had, to which I'm very much thinking that he got paid off somehow, right? Once again, folks, this is all speculation. So we're talking just like every other fucking podcast there is. But number two, from my understanding, the people that went out were replaced by yes men of Vince's.
I can't say that because they were some of the people that were against, whatever he was doing anyway. He fired them. What was it?
Before, not too far before.
Right. So,
but even then, you know what I mean? I think there's something fishy about the board unanimously bringing him back. Like, that doesn't feel right in my stomach. You know what I mean? He probably didn't have enough money to pay everybody because of everything happening with the lawsuits. And then Steph leaves. Now, yes, when they asked her to come back, she was supposed to take a vacation, a leave of absence, because she deserved it. Same thing with Triple H. But then all of this shit went down.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets to a point where, yes, Stephanie definitely deserves her time with her family. So does Triple H. But not in this way. If this is the cause, if this is the true cause of it, you know what I mean? The other side is he's not going to touch creative, at least for now. So that's a good thing for fans, because then that means the product that we have been able to enjoy since he left, we will continue to enjoy. What do you guys think would happen to the company? You know what? Let me not even do it that way. What do you think would happen to the talent if Vince ends up back in charge of creative?
Lots of pushback. Lots of pushback. I don't foresee anybody walking out, but if he were to end up in charge of creative again, I don't see a lot of the talent getting opportunities. I see like
Yeah.
more of the same type of like structured shows. Like to me, like the problem with Vince at the helm for the last couple of years was it was starting to become formulaic, meaning like
Yes.
you
I find it
kind of
really sad.
Sorry,
yes.
y'all.
you can predict kind of what the segments were going to be and how long it was take. Plus, it was like a focus on what happened backstage. It was very promo heavy.
Yes.
And not enough in-ring stuff. Like I think we're in an era where it's like more in-ring action, you know, and we got to a point where it was almost like formula to the point where it was kind of like how Raw was like in the early 90s, where it'd be like one really long like match between two prominent talents.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of backstage and promo stuff and promotions here and there, merchandise stuff. Like, and then you would see like really short matches like between jobbers. But now that you have well-known talent everywhere, like the enhancement guys are now well-known stars. It's not like you have like the Reno Riggins or the Jim Powers on the roster. Now you have guys like Ricochet, who's jobbing, and he has like a legion of fans and stuff like that, and guys like Gulak and everything that made it look pretty small and stuff. And there's no consistency as far as like who gets TV time and stuff like that. You could be here today and gone tomorrow. Like we saw that with guys like Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, Aleister Black. Malachi Black, who got like prominent vignettes and promos and stuff, and then got canned immediately. Like, there was no consistency, and it was very formulaic, the show. So it's like, if he would have come back, it would be very. I think the roster would not be in the best of spirits. I don't think they're in the best of spirits now, given all the upheaval of his return, just to the business side. But if he came back as far as like with his hands on the product, it would be really, really bad. I think personally, it would be a step backwards.
For me, I think that for people to leave, the company would have to be sold to a very extremely specific situation.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's really shitty that excuse me, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. I think it's really shitty that the morale is that low. Like, I feel like it's both low and high all at once. It's low because he's back, like in some type of power, because he's the head, he's the chairman of the board again. But I think it's a good thing that he's not part of creative, because Triple H has been doing nothing but, well, I don't want to say nothing, but I'll say this. Triple H has been batting 800. There might just be a few, I don't know if that's a legit term, but there might be like a few where you're like, what the hell? But for the most part, they've been crushing it. So I think at the end of the day, it will all depend on A, what Vince and whoever else decides to do media-wise, and B, if Vince will ever get part of creative again.
Well said. Well, it's, I don't know, it's very very tragic what's happening. I on one side, if Tripp stays in creative, we're still gonna be good, regardless of what, and that's all we need. That's legitimately all we need. But I think I'm getting a call, y'all.
Word.
Can y'all hear that?
Pull it up.
Let me see. We might have somebody calling in, y'all. Give me a second.
Shit. That had nothing to do with Vince, girly.
Well, QS may not be here with us physically, but we do have a nice little message from QS. Hope you all enjoy.
I find it really sad that we have come to this point in our lives, in this era, where all of a sudden we're going to take a tweet, not even a tweet, we're going to take a post from Reddit and it gets pushed as fact. And the way that so many of you in these last 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours, the way that y'all have pushed this post as fact to say that, you know, the E is bought by the Sauds, by Saudi Arabia, the royal family of Saudi Arabia. Y'all went and pushed this as it was a universal fact, and then you guys want to go on this fake selective outrage and try to act like you guys are so pro LGBTQ rights, and more power to y'all that actually are. But there's a lot of y'all that are trying to just do this shit for performance. Y'all want to act like y'all are pro LGBTQ rights. Y'all are pro women. Y'all are pro religion. Y'all are pro everything, all equality. You're trying to literally try to put down this so-called this country for everything that they do, the war crimes and everything. How can you put down a country of war crimes when you live in a fucking country that commits war crimes every fucking day of your living life in America? You know, all of you that so-called claim that if the Sauds actually went and bought WWE, cool. You're saying you're walking away from it. You're not watching it no more. You're saying this is when you're going to do your complete boycott of everything because of Saudi Arabia. So here's the thing. If you're going to boycott them watching the show, you could boycott that. Are you going to boycott watching the World Cup? Because they funded that. Are you going to boycott driving your car? Because where do you think your gas comes from? The Sauds thank you every time you pay for your gas. Is that that same expensive gas you pay for? They thank you every day. Oh, your tweets. Who do you think actually gave Elon Musk the $40 billion to actually buy Twitter? The Sauds thank you every day when you can tweet your fucking think pieces. This is what y'all keep doing. Y'all really don't get that Saudi Arabia literally controls almost your entire way of living here in this country. Your video games, Call of Duty, Activision, MMOs. Who do you think funds it? Sauds. Y'all don't realize that that country has so much hand in the pots for everything. But it's kind of funny because y'all don't go and research. Y'all just go strictly off of how your feelings. You're just going off of feelings because it's just like, oh, you're so used to shock. You're so used to shock value that y'all literally will go and just believe anything you see on there, and you go into fucking panic. Y'all don't even realize how the way wrestling media literally did this whole fucking shit. Y'all don't realize how much fear mongering just happened in 48 hours. Fear mongering. But yet you don't see none of those wrestling media outlets that did that. They're not standing on it. You see how they're just silently deleting their tweets. You know why? Because they were wrong. Because there's no fact. You didn't see it on the news. You didn't see it on CNN. You didn't see it on Fox. You didn't see it on NBC. You didn't see it on ABC. You didn't see it on anywhere. You didn't even see it on MSN. You saw it nowhere. You didn't see it on MSNBC. So what the hell are y'all talking about? You never saw any of this shit being pushed as fact. Y'all just went and took something from Reddit. This is where we're at right now. We don't even watch the news anymore. We're going to take a post from Reddit and we're going to tweet it out, and that's fact. Because Charlemagne the God said it best. The lie is more entertaining. What's the point of telling the truth when the lie is more entertaining? And if the lie is more entertaining than the truth, yes, spread it. Spread it like wildfire. Because nobody's going to actually research it. Everybody just believes in alternative facts. You all should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. And even when that news came out, the amount of y'all, some people that I even personally know, that I know off here and even know personally, some of y'all were really sitting here and spewing so much fucking Islamophobia, so much xenophobic shit, all that shit coming out of y'all mouths, and y'all literally trying to portray that shit as jokes. Ain't nothing funny about that shit. These were people's livelihoods on the line. These people's livelihoods. These are people's way of living. These are people, the way their identity, the way they fucking choose to believe in. And y'all are literally sitting here just pushing that fear mongering ad, just pushing it like it was fact when none of it was true. And the sad part is not one of y'all fucking apologized. That's why this wrestling, this IWC shit, yo, the wrestling community, y'all are a joke. Motherfuckers need to really do better. It really pays to go and read a fucking book, watch the fucking news. You actually can learn some shit. Y'all are fucking crazy. Y'all are crazy. There's not a goddamn thing that any of y'all could ever say. And then some of y'all don't want to sit here and talk about you're going to boycott. Oh, shut the fuck up. Y'all ain't boycotting shit. None of y'all boycotting nothing. If you're going to boycott this, you might as well boycott your whole way of life. Because that same royal family, that government, you've been putting money in their pockets for years. You want to talk about the country. You want to talk about blood money. You want to talk about this country. Talk about war crimes. You're living in a fucking country that does war crimes every day. You're living in a country that's literally trying to take away abortion rights for women by the state, by the day. You're literally living in a country that tries to take away the rights of gay marriage every fucking day in the state. Every day. Every day those Republicans try to fight to overturn the shit. Every day they try to fight to overturn the rights for women. You're literally living in a country that sits here and kills and doesn't even give a shit when trans lives are killed, when trans people are killed every fucking day, and they do nothing. So miss me with all of this bullshit, the fake self-righteousness. Miss me with all of that moral compass. A lot of y'all don't have no fucking morals. Y'all don't believe in none of this shit. Y'all just doing this shit because y'all just doing it for clickbaits. Y'all just doing it for clicks, to get your clicks off your little wrestling or your little anime profiles, to sit here and boost up and make it seem like you're actually important. Y'all don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Y'all don't give a fuck about none of this. None of this y'all give a fuck about. And after this whole shit blows over, y'all gonna go right back to not giving a fuck. And that's all I got.
Yep. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You know what I mean? Like, we get an episode right now. No.
Well said, brother. Well said.
Look, man, it's at the end of the day, it's fucked up. Like, I feel like there's no other way to put it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the entire situation's fucked up. Speaking about our brother. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. First off, what's up, bro? Hope everything's good at work. Yeah, throw that up for you. He said the IWC do fucking better. Let these last 72 hours show y'all who's a xenophobic piece of shit, a racist, a damn clown. All this shit folks did was performative and shameful. Grown ass men and women. Shame. He ain't wrong. Look, man, listen. You know, we all know Rodney. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Behind the Barricade. But look, we had a long conversation, excuse me, about this, and it's really it's really sad that within the last 72 hours on all of our social medias, everybody fell for the okie doke. Not everybody. Let me not say that. A lot of people fell for the okie doke.
Not Courtney.
Not me. Dude, there's no way. You can't tell me. First off, we all had this discussion. Okay? Off air.
Very extensively.
There's no way that this shit is believable when the shit didn't come from any credible fucking source.
Nope.
Not one. Not fucking one. First off, yo, my bad. I wanted to shout out Marty McFly. What's up, bro? That's family. Through Susio Boys. Shout out to Bunny. Shout out to Sloan. Shout out to Ahan. Just had to get that out real quick. But there's no credible source. And here, QS said it best, bro. Right here. Excuse me. Wrestling media is too quick to be the first to report the news when it's truth, none of y'all know. Well, none of y'all know shit. No journalistic integrity, no journalism degree, nothing. The sad part is, and to add on to that point, the sad part is, even the people who had journalism degrees was falling for this shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not like it was even just the podcasters, the people on Twitter Spaces, the people who use Instagram Live. It was the people who people are supposed to trust, whose word you're supposed to believe. This is why I don't trust a lot of these motherfuckers. And yeah, don't get me wrong, we curse, and I don't say that a lot on the show, but this shit is like I'm tired. I'm tired.
I think
We're
something
all fucking tired of the bullshit. And when I say we all, I mean the four of us. We're all sick of it.
Yeah. I think that one thing, I think a couple of things need to be said here. Number one, I agree with a lot of what QS said, but there are some, like, he's absolutely right. This is a country also that historically has done a lot of things that have been damning towards human rights and still do to this day. Like this country still treats minorities like shit, for example.
Absolutely.
But like that does, and that's not excusing anything that goes on in Saudi Arabia when it comes to their treatment of LGBTQ plus people, women, for example, women protesters, anybody that speaks out against the current regime, like journalists and stuff like that. They don't necessarily enjoy free speech the same way that we do, and I think that's something that needs to be pointed out.
That's a lot of places too. Like let's not just single out.
But I do think that a lot of the criticism and outrage that comes, some of it, not a lot of it, rather, some of it is Islamophobic and is steeped in a lot of racism. For example, I remember talking to a friend and he made an interesting point that if Saudis were to buy the WWE, they would have a problem with a lot of the WWE roster working for those Muslims rather than the quote unquote good Muslim that works in Jacksonville that owns his company. And it's like, because he's more Americanized. And I was like, you know what? He's got a point.
Not wrong.
The Khan family are Sunni Muslims and they hold the same beliefs as probably the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Not saying that they are extremists to those beliefs. I don't know the specifics of everything. I'm pretty sure that they're very inclusive towards gay people and women and allow, opinions to be expressed freely. But nonetheless, they do have the same beliefs. And a lot of people were condemning the country of Saudi Arabia for their belief system. They are of the same religion. They're both Sunni Muslims. That is something to point out, right? Mm-hmm. Secondly, a lot of people like Twitter news in general. Twitter is an awesome place to get news from because news spreads very quickly on the internet, right? Exactly. But it's also a dangerous place to get news from because you have to do your due diligence to make sure that these sources are legit, that they're getting their information from a legit place, and that they're vetting their sources. A lot of these journalists that too, yeah. A lot of the journalists that QS was talking about, and I'll go as further to say like the Dave Meltzers of this world, Sean Ross Sapp, no disrespect to them, they are accredited journalists. They have journalism degrees. They've been working in the business for quite some time. However, and I'm not saying that either person did this because I want it to be clear, neither Sean Ross Sapp or Dave Meltzer perpetuated that the WWE was then sold to Saudi Arabia, right? Neither one of them said that as a absolute fact.
Right.
When you take things, and I'm not saying either one of these two do this, or maybe Meltzer, but when you take things that are speculation and it's presented as this is what's happening or this is what's going to happen, and you have a fan base that will take that information and run with it as a gospel, that's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very dangerous. Yeah, and like we had
somebody that passed.
That's how hoaxes spread. That's how misinformation spreads because you see something and take it, oh, this is what's going to happen based off of the sliver of information that I get. It's like playing telephone. Like you're like the fifth person on the phone, right? Like because you got like the information that they are vetting a sale and that they are entertaining all offers, which is by all means their right to do, whether we agree with that or not. Mm-hmm. That's due diligence when it comes to business. And no sale happens that fast. Like, it's like no sale on any phase of this, any dimension happens that quickly. So for anybody to come out and perpetuate that as a fact immediately That's poor due diligence. Secondly, tertiarily, rather, I already said secondly, tertiarily, no publication that is a wrestling dirt sheet is going to have that news before like the Wall Street Journal or Forbes or something like that. If any person, and I will say this, if somebody like Sean Ross Sapp, Dave Meltzer, the gentleman from DAZN whose name I can't pronounce, who actually broke the story first and said like, oh, this is gospel, he since deleted his tweet, and so did the guy from bodyslam.net, since deleted their tweet because they were dead wrong. You know, if any of those guys can get that magnitude of information before somebody at a newspaper, a nationally ranked newspaper, or an accredited journalization that deals with business and
around the world,
financial transactions, they need to quit. And they need to open their own publication because their sources and their means of getting information is way better than anybody else's out there. You are not going to get that type of information from a dirt sheet. I'll entertain news about the Intercontinental Championship or some shit like that deals with like the roster or whatever, or how that moves, because that's news that's central to like, it's not huge, but it's like central to a wrestling company, and that's their wheelhouse, a wrestling company, right? The business side of things, where it comes to like transactions, when it comes to like sales or potential buys and stuff like that, I'd much rather get my information from something that's a little bit more accredited. You know, no disrespect to those journalists, but I highly doubt that they would be able to scoop somebody like the New York Times on a story like this. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. And if they can, more power to them. They really need to, I think, step up their ambitions when it comes to working with news. You know, you can do so much more for this world outside of working for, you know, no disrespect to the wrestling industry, but this is a niche market, and we are fans of a niche market. If you are able to outscoop like the Wall Street Journal or the Washington Times or even ESPN or something like that on the accredited news of a sale of a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, you need to get out of this business and you need to be working for a paper where they can pay you really huge money, like big bucks as an editor or something.
Exactly.
Nobody is going to, like, no wrestling dirt sheet is going to outscoop a publication when it comes to business of this magnitude.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen. And it's like for people to hear that and then run with it as gospel, because we as human beings, and I think everybody's guilty of this, right? When you hear news of that magnitude that could happen, right? Not going to say that it's out of the realm of possibility, because it is. The Saudi investment, the public investment fund could buy this. They have the money to buy it, right? So it's not out the realm of possibility. But people then start to think and speculate, what if? Like, oh, if Saudi Arabia does this, they will control all of wrestling, which would be true, right? And I don't think anybody wants to see that because of the sports washing and everything, you know, in consideration, like they're trying to paint themselves as this progressive place. I've never heard of a progressive monarchy. Personally, like I've never, honestly, I guess my tiny American brain can't wrap its thoughts around that, when there's an absolute ruler in charge. And then there's like, what if you do something he doesn't like that you consider progressive, right? It probably just fucking kills somebody like you did that reporter. But with that said, people then start to run with this belief of like, oh, this is going to be the worst thing in the world and whatever have you. And it might be. I'm one of those people who think it would be, because they would literally control damn near all of wrestling. Like, they would control the tape libraries, right? What if there's something that they don't agree with the tape library and they're now scrubbing the tape library and stuff, right? Like, for example, did you know that Saudi Arabia and Iran really don't like each other? That would effectively get rid of the Iron Sheik. Like, what if they see something in the library that the Iron Sheik says, and they don't, no, we don't want to see that. We want to 86 it, and they get rid of it, right? You know, that's essentially erasing the Iron Sheik's legacy and stuff like that. But I say that to say, like, people see these doom scenarios and then they start to run with it, and then suddenly it becomes gospel. Like, oh, Saudi Arabia has bought the WWE, when it turned out to be bullshit, you know. And then we get these information sources like from these journalists on Twitter and stuff who claim to be in the know and claim to have sources close to the situation, when it's like less than 24 hours later. I would say like what? Like the story broke at like 11, I would say. Like, people were saying, oh, Saudi bought this place or whatever have you, or whatever journalist was saying that. And then like 12 hours later, it's like, no, the fuck they didn't. Like, people came out, like more accredited journalists, mind you, like Ariel Helwani, who's got an accredited source really at Nick Khan, because that's his former agent. So if anybody might know anything about that, it would be him, because he does have somebody that's close. He's close with the CEO of WWE, right? So he might have some information that's like, he's a more credible source.
He might have it before other people.
Yeah, he's a credible source. John Alba's a credible source. Raj Giri, a more credible source. And like, these people like from DAZN and bodyslam.net, again, no disrespect to them. This is how they make their money, more power to them. But you can't necessarily just put out, well, this company has been sold and then expect like unless there's like a press release from the company, you can't really report that, you know?
I mean, look at Steph. You know what I mean? Steph put the letter up and she took it down.
You would think,
and then it was back up.
Yeah, you would think wrestling fans would be so much smart. Dirt sheets get things wrong all the time.
All the time.
People appearing places and people signing contracts and the timeline of stuff.
Yesterday was a perfect example.
Mercedes Moné is an excellent example for this because everybody thought she was going to show up yesterday at Dynamite. I don't know, like most people don't know necessarily the flight patterns between Japan and the U.S. That's a huge factor in things. I didn't think she was going to show up to begin with, nor did they advertise it in any way, shape, or form. They might have Britt Baker might have said, "Oh, this boss thing in a promo," but it's not really an indication of anything that's going to happen.
But and that's where the problem lied. You know what I mean? And I put it on Twitter and I've said it. Like the fans fucked that up. That was the fans' fault. Y'all fell into the trap. That was your fault for speculating that she was going to show up. And let's be real. She's not showing up at a fucking Dynamite. She's showing up at a pay-per-view. Big money. You know what I mean? Like, you know, no pun with the name and everything, but
money.
Yeah, I know people hate that theme. I love it, but that's
another
story for another time.
I bring her up because for months people speculated like, oh, they have talks with WWE and they're going to come back, and then now they're not going to come back. Nobody knew what was going to happen until that girl showed up for New Japan. Nobody knew what was going to happen. There were so many different reports and fluctuations and everything. Nobody had a tie down on this story, what was going to happen until she signed that contract with New Japan, and it was like until she became like an official, like WWE officially put out she's no longer with us. You know, that's then it became like clear, oh, she's not coming back. You know, but we get worked all the time by dirt sheets. Just so we can get a sliver of information. I tell people all the time, we as wrestling fans, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm not going to sit there and pretend that I'm not, because it's a little bit fun speculating and getting caught up in this stuff. But we are like the epitome of the Dunning-Kruger effect, meaning that you suddenly become an expert when giving a sliver of information. We're at the peak of Mount Stupid. Like, we have the littlest amount of information, and we swear we have all the knowledge based off that little sliver of information when we really don't know anything. Yep. I think we're one of the few honest podcasts out there that really will admit we don't know shit. Like, we're just speculating on any of this. We are no different from any talking head that's out there. Like, you know, we really don't know anything when it comes to the business side of this business. Just because we have a little bit of jargon and know what a heel in the face is, doesn't mean that we know professional wrestling. And that goes for a lot of these accredited journalists that are out there that don't really know what's going on behind the scenes and just make speculations and stuff.
Right.
They're the fourth person on the end of the telephone. I would love to see like the ranking of some of these sources that they have, because if it's like just Joe, you know, giving them information, and he heard this from this girl who heard it from the guy that shaves her cat and all that stuff. Like, you know, you're at the bottom of the totem pole for all this information who could have changed in like 6 different ways and been said in 6 different manners. You know, you don't really have information.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Not by any means. Strike.
Well said again. I can't follow that up. Sorry.
I'll say this, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll say it after.
Go ahead.
All right. So, speaking about, because that's what I was waiting for, the Saudi, the quote unquote Saudi buy. We all know who the first person to go is, right? Sammy.
Of course.
Yep, Sami Zayn.
And the crazy part, and once again, I was at work. No. Mm-hmm. I was at work talking to the guys. Yo, you're telling me, right? And this is what I'm saying, right? There was nothing. It was still all mid speculation. You're telling me that essentially your hottest act is going to leave because of a stupid buy. Like, let's be real. The Bloodline is the hottest act in the WWE right now. And Sami Zayn is just that much over Roman when it comes to fan love at this point. Now, actually, it might be higher because a lot of people are still hating on Roman. So I think Sami is the only one that like is universally, like right now, is like completely universally loved. And you're telling me because of some stupid shit like that, you're gonna try to loot? Are you out of your fucking minds?
Gotta be.
Like, look, there's a lot of possibilities. First and foremost, and I've said this on Coffee with Rev. Shout out to Rev Ron and Sloan and everybody on there. And I've said it at work, so I'm gonna say it here. I'm begging Disney to fucking buy them. If you're telling me I can go to Disney World and I can get Stitch, Spidey, and Roman all in the same area, I'm good.
I mean, WWE Disneyland would be pretty lit. I've never been to
Disneyland. Yo, a WWE World at Disneyland? That would be crazy.
I'd be on the first fucking flight to go.
That would be
no problem admitting that.
Talk about I'm Roman Reigns and this is the Disney Channel. And you're watching the Disney Channel. You know what I mean? Like, imagine the platforms. Like, okay, so news today, right? Was that right now, Nick Khan, or not right now, but earlier, Nick Khan was in talks with, excuse me if I'm wrong, Bob Iger and whoever, the CEO of ESPN or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Still gonna be the same person because it's owned by Disney.
Yeah. Okay. So
Disney owns 80% of ESPN.
Yo, imagine it. So from I know, right? So ESPN isn't doing great right now.
Yeah,
You're telling
really been anything.
You're telling me WWE on ESPN wouldn't fucking boost their ratings like crazy?
It could. I mean, everybody has ESPN, so that works.
There would be.
I think there's a better choice, but
there would be
I agree with you.
And you know what's funny? Jonathan Coachman pitched this for the early version of WWE Network. There would be a show like how the UFC has their bi-monthly show anytime there's a big event. WWE would get the same stuff.
Yep.
So there would be a lot of job opportunities in broadcasting that opens up because of that. You know, personally, I think Comcast is going to be the guy, the group that buys WWE.
That's the best fit.
I think that it will be Comcast. There's a historical fit there. The McMahons and NBC have always had a great working relationship.
Yeah.
You think about those early since the 80s, those old Saturday nights main events. The highest rated wrestling show was Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan on the first main event. That relationship goes back decades. You even watch the XFL documentary. Vince McMahon once said to Dick Ebersol, "I would trust you with my kids," and vice versa. Dick Ebersol told him the same thing. Dick Ebersol was one of the biggest sports executives in NBC Sports in history.
Whoa.
Outgrow it.
I've got breaking news, y'all.
What's that?
What happened?
Apparently, AEW is interested in merging with WWE.
No.
Yeah, the cons, that is, I did read that story. The cons are interested in forming an investor group that would buy WWE. And I would love to hear from all the people that were telling me that WWE having a monopoly on American wrestling was a bad thing.
Right.
How they would feel about Tony Khan having a monopoly on American wrestling. The amount of flip-flopping that would be happening.
I'm sorry. I do not need Tony Khan on that shit.
I agree.
I'm very sorry.
Now,
I don't think
they need to do it.
On the flip side, if Comcast gets WWE, Comcast is rumored to be buying WB very soon. So regardless,
they'll be back on WB or
regardless to what, AEW and WWE are going to cross paths at some point.
Well, at least we would think, because once again, it is speculation. But
But
look,
WB is definitely building to get sold. Trust me.
yeah. Well,
Trust me.
what I was no, not that I disagree with you. I'm just saying more so. I think because of the opportunities, and we didn't really get a chance to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
So we know Shinsuke went to Japan to face Muta.
Yep.
We know that there was no drama with Bailey going over to Japan to support one of her best friends and the connection that they also have with FTR. We know that
Naomi, Asuka, and Io were there as well.
yeah. But I was thinking more so there was somebody else who had a match somewhere else, and I'm
Carl
blanking
Anderson,
out.
New Japan.
Yes. And Carl Anderson defended and lost the never open weight title to Tama Tonga at Wrestle Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Tama Tonga, excuse me.
And rumor once again persists that
God.
Hikuleo is on his way out with this loser leaves Japan match with Jay White. And it's rumored that WWE is interested. And the WWE Travel Championship, aka the Never Openweight Championship. Apparently, our current Never Openweight champion Tama Tonga has drawn the ire of WWE as well.
Well, it's all of them. It's Hikuleo and God.
Yes,
them
I know.
together.
I was getting to that.
Oh, I apologize.
Also, apparently, Jay White is gone within the next few months. So,
see, I thought Jay White was gonna. I thought the loser leaves Japan match was gonna be for Jay, because from my understanding, God and Hikuleo don't want to leave. New Japan is home for them. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I understand you leave your home. Like, I'm not saying that it's not a possibility. I think what I'm saying is that their love for New Japan just might supersede them getting a shot at the WWE. So,
well, if Tama Tonga helps Hikuleo and he wins the match, then hey, it's Jay. But at that point, he's gonna be in this supposed bidding war of 2023.
Oh yeah, he can go wherever the fuck he wants to
go. He can go to Impact. Impact's probably not gonna pay him that much, but you got WWE.
I think he did his. The only reason I don't think he'd go to Impact is because he already made, no pun intended, made an impact there. The only place he hasn't really made a true impact is WWE. You know what I mean? He showed up in AEW and killed it.
I think he can do a Royal Rumble entrance.
I think that's everybody's speculation right now.
I think he can do.
He's going to show up at
AJ Styles, an AJ Styles-esque
I don't know. You know, given the flux of what's happening management-wise, I don't know if WWE really is the place to go right now, because
everything's up in the air.
The one thing that you look to, like, you have to also realize, and I think a lot of us wrestling fans often forget this, is that this is a job. Like, you most of the time when you go to a job and they have little tumultuousness from the top down, you know, especially at the top, like, not necessarily the best place to go get hired, you know, especially you don't know what the fate of the company may be in the next couple of months.
Right.
So, not saying that it can't happen, you know, who knows, you know, the money talks at the end of the day, right?
Of course.
But I don't know if I'm, for example, a young up and coming wrestler, if I want to go to WWE right now, you know. Yeah. And I say that as somebody, obviously I'm not a wrestler. Like, if WWE offered somebody a contract, they probably would take it immediately. But at the same token, you do have to consider what's going on up top. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Speaking,
so I'm not sure. He's a huge name, so I'm not sure. His name in the business, you know, right now, if he would want to come to WWE because of some of the issues that are going on the top now. You know,
so
he apparently he liked AEW, the AEW run, how they treated him. Even though I still think you not putting the champion's belt on the table properly because Tony Khan doesn't even respect outside wrestlers from his company. You know how that shit goes. But to me, it's just he's definitely probably top 5 free agents. If he's on the market, definitely. But I think he's done Japan. He's done the biggest. He's fought the biggest names in Japan. He's
won.
He's what, 4-2 against Okada. So I mean, not anybody else really has that record.
Nope.
Maybe 1 win to like 4 losses or something like that.
Yeah.
But shit, even Kenny didn't do that.
Nope. Kenny definitely got more losses than he does wins against Okada.
So to say that New Japan did not love this man is kind of crazy. I believe that because it being Antonio Inoki's not anniversary, but because of his
celebration,
and celebration, they wanted to go back to traditional style, and they gave stuff back to Okada, and they gave US belt to Kenny Omega, which also I have another gripe with, but we'll talk about it maybe another time or maybe a bit later if we speak about Wrestle Kingdom. But I think he can go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
AEW, I'm pretty sure he'll get a paid a pretty penny. I don't know how quickly he shoots up to the top, but I feel he'll be in a better space, in terms of the main event. But right now, just the Vince situation, like y'all said, like it's very crazy to want to go to WWE and be adamant on going to WWE right now.
There's so being able to speak to a lot of the indie talent. I've learned a lot, and I've gained a lot more insight. And I was speaking to a particular indie talent from New York, and he said straight up, he was like, if AEW and the WWE gave me a contract right now, as much as I would love to go to the WWE, I got my family in AEW. Like, he knows more than enough people in AEW to be okay. And I've heard a number of indie talent say something very similar. And this isn't speculation, this is fucking fact. So I think when you hear that enough, it's one of those things. When you hear something enough, you believe it. But in this situation, when you hear something that much from people that are prospects for the future of your company, to make sure that they're in the top shape and best health, or whatever the case may be, best mental health, so that they can provide for your fan base, can't be doing all this bullshit, man. This is a pivotal time in wrestling. I think Cordell Rhodes said it best when he believed that wrestling is in its third boom. And I agree. I don't think wrestling has been this prevalent in a long time within the last number of years. All this is going to do is push us back. We already see how it is in the IWC, which is the internet wrestling community. We see it. I see it every fucking day. People, excuse me, Stretch said it best, man. People want the hot takes. That's what they want. I don't want a hot take. I want fact. Unless it's a surprise. A la Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? Something like that. But a la Adam Cole showing up on AEW last night. Once again, this is not about wrestlers. This is not about debuts. This is not about pyro. This is not about pay-per-views. This is about the ownership of a company that's been around for decades. Decades. and will more than likely be around for a whole hell of a lot more.
Once a century, yeah.
Like
WWE's not going anywhere. Same as
and
New Japan. Definitely not going anywhere. Way too big.
it's just at a. If I said it once, I'll say it again. This shit is just fucking dumb. It is. It's just stupid. I'm over it. I was over the Sasha Naomi talk. Cause stop fucking speculating. They're just living their life. Let them live their life.
And Miss Monday is definitely living her life.
And so is Naomi.
Of course, got to
Or
be
Trinity.
Tokyo Dome. It got to be in the Tokyo Dome. Not many people can say that of their lifetime. You know,
like people. I think at this point, WWE talent just want to have fun. They just want to enjoy it again, and they have been.
Even if the storylines are just wait and see type thing, it's enjoyable.
Long-term booking.
I'm making moments with whomever I'm in the ring with. It doesn't matter if I like them or don't like them. I'm making those moments. Seth and Cody made moments. Let me see. Seth and Austin Theory making moments. Bobby Lashley coming back. We might get the Hurt Business back.
Damage Control coming together. Bianca still doing her run.
Right.
You know, even Charlotte coming back. Like
amazing.
Like
amazing. Top 3 in the E.
And sorry, that was top 3 what?
In the E. Theme songs.
Oh, her new one?
Yeah, her new one's fucking fire.
I will agree to disagree, but we'll talk about that offline.
Her and her. Perfect. Absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe I have to listen to it again.
Listen to it.
But that's like, I like Monet's new theme. A lot of people hate it.
A lot of people know.
I like it.
For her character, sure.
It works. It works. And can people please stop saying that she botched her fucking finisher? It takes 2 to tango.
Yeah,
like, it was a mistake. Shut up.
Like, I mean, I've
stop saying botch too. Sorry,
I've seen a video of her using the finisher, like
killing it. That move is sick as fuck. A gory DDT? That's crazy. That's crazy. But either way, you know. Once again, I think we can all be in agreement. And if QS was here, I think he would agree also that it's truly just at a point where people need to stop trying to guess a narrative. People need to stop trying to figure out. Let me rephrase this. Constantly trying to figure out what's next. There's nothing wrong with speculation. It's wrong when you're trying to spin a narrative that your speculation is fact. That's where the problem lies. And admit when you're fucking wrong. People can't do that shit either. Like, I never thought I'd be saying this shit. Of all people, like, I got a fucking unicorn onesie on. Like, grow the fuck up. Grow up. It's ridiculous. I said I wasn't going to get mad during this episode. But, you know, it is. At the end of the day, it's just stupid. It's dumb. So, is there anything else about this particular situation? Because I'm done, man.
Sell it to me, investors. Sell it to me. I will manage the money right. I will run these storylines right, and everybody will be happy. Just sell it to me. I'll put the billions back in your pocket.
I mean, I don't think everybody's gonna be happy.
Well,
I only say that because you can't please everyone. That's
I've seen people that ain't rich or won't be rich gonna be hating. So it's all good.
Always.
Sell it to me. Let me provide for my brothers and sisters in wrestling. Let me provide for those who are really hungry for it and really need it.
I don't remember who was talking. Like, I was watching, somebody was, I guess, doing an interview or something, and they were black, and they were like, "Sell it to me, I'll do it." And then the co-host was like, "WWE, a black-owned WWE, that would be crazy. That would be nuts."
I'd love to see it.
Oh, me too. Oh, me too. But look, I don't know, man. Stretch. Anything else, brother?
No, I said what I got to say. I think that we as wrestling fans, we got to do better when it comes to just outright believing sources, man. Like,
Yep.
I get it. Some people have better track records than others. Like, I think that's like, for example, there was this Reddit user. I think his name is like Kermit or
Kermit.
or something like
Yeah.
that, right? And it's like, oh, he's broken big news in the past before it happens and everything. And I'm like, okay, that also doesn't make him the end all be all of sources. Like a blind squirrel will find a nut every now and then.
Yep.
It doesn't
Yep.
necessarily make him like this muckraker or this this whistleblower or whatever. This guy that's just gonna have these groundbreaking news stories come out of the blue. You can't believe everything you see on the internet. You got to know how to vet a source. And
Yep.
I also need to say this, just because confirmation bias is something that runs heavily with wrestling fans. Just because it fits your point of view and you read it does not make it the objective, all out, be out right answer to something or the objective truth. You can't just say like, well, because I agree with this point of view, that makes it right. You have to understand both sides of the coin in order to formulate an educated opinion, and you have to know how to vet a source. Until you know how to do those things, you really probably shouldn't be talking about shit.
Nope.
Yep. Absolutely.
Fake journalism. I'm gonna need to bring it back to ELA class and just cite your sources, man. Cite your sources. You've gotta give me 5 sources. Yeah, give me 5 bits of fact to go with your news article, because there's no way you're just getting on Twitter and typing, "Oh, I heard from this person, from this person, from this person that they're selling." Okay, so where's CNBC that does stocks? Where's that data? Where's Fox News or Fox? What do they have? They have Fox Business. There we go.
Same shit. Fox News Business. Same thing.
Where's that? Run on Robinhood. Let me see if the stocks are going up. If the stocks are going up, something may be happening, sure, but that can be either verbally said or something behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So until a accredited source like the Wall Street Journal says that it's true, then you just shut up and wait.
Yep.
You can ask the question, "Hey, who would you like them to sell to?" Different story, but don't say, "Oh, they sold to the Sauds. Fuck them." You don't know that.
Or at least the believable aspect. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You don't believe everything you fucking see, man. At the end of the day, do research for yourself.
Some people can't do that, bro.
Oh, believe me, I know. I got stories.
Definitely don't want to go on Google and
new fresh stories. But it is what it is, man.
It's a very scary world out here.
For sure.
People just do what the fuck they want to do. It's scary.
Yeah, let's cover Wrestle Kingdom for a little bit, real quick. So there's only a couple things that I think need to be spoken about. Number one, Monet appearing and challenging Kyrie for the IWGP Women's World Championship.
Yep.
By the way, beautiful title. That match happens in February
18th at Battle in the Valley.
I believe so. Yeah.
And that's going to be LA. That will be in LA.
Yep. And that's stateside. So don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. Don't be surprised. But I do enjoy.
She's already selling. She already basically sold the event out.
I was just about to say. I think the best thing for her, besides the fact that she's always, and she said it, we've heard it multiple times, she always wanted to work in Japan. So this is nothing but gonna make her grow. And she said it. What? I'm on a world tour. She's on her Tribe Called Quest shit. So she's gonna go all around. and she might need to be the next belt collector. Who knows? And it's very possible.
We'll see. There's
like, don't be
deals.
shocked.
There's plenty deals under the sun for her. She can go to Impact. She can go to AEW. She
Yep.
can go to Europe. She can go.
She could probably go. And the crazy thing is, it's not a where will she go. It's a when will she go.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
February's right around the corner, so
Yep.
most likely we'll see what's happening after. If she
Mm-hmm.
gets that title, then we know her trajectory is going to go very fucking far.
Yeah, and I also love the fact that some of these people going back to and going to Stardom is going to put so many more eyes on them, and that makes me excited for them.
But Bushiroad and New Japan need to push them.
Yeah.
I
agree.
shouldn't have watched Tam Nakano in a 5-minute match when I know Tam could definitely wrestle. It makes no sense. You're trying to promote Kyrie. I love it, but do not pull an American company style with this thing. Wrestle Kingdom was maybe what close
Was their
to 6
highlight.
hours? Yeah, but it was close to 6 hours, probably 7 hours. You could have put them on for 15. I could have believed a 15-minute match.
Yep. And you could put it on for 10, and I would have believed that.
Right. It would have been fine. But 5 minutes, and then you have the long promo. Okay, cool. You're getting the viewers. You already got, a bunch of tickets sold. The thing's almost sold out in LA because of Mercedes Moné. And I think that's great. I honestly think that's great. So
Kenny Omega is a 2-time United States champion. By the way, I know you might not like it, but damn, that belt looks good on him.
Love the
belt's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But we know AEW had always let people come, AEW have always let people come with their titles for the most part. But anyways, that him and Will Ospreay, man, my God, yo,
best match of the night.
Yeah, and those two can tear it down any day of the week, and they can tear it down any day of the week with anybody, in my opinion.
Yep, agreed.
But goddamn, Will Ospreay, man, he has become such a star from when a lot of us first saw him, and he has grown so damn much.
A lot better on the mic, a lot more of a presence. Having a faction does him well, and the faction is strong as fuck.
Yep, and him being the leader of said faction. Him stepping away from Chaos and away from Okada's shadow. I don't think he's in Okada's shadow anymore.
No, he's beating Okada already, so he can't be in it. But then again, no.
Well, not just the beating. I mean, as in, I don't want to call him his young boy, but essentially, that was that. I think he was in the makings to be Okada Jr. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I don't mean that to sound crazy. I mean as in the building of a star.
How can being Okada Jr. be a detriment?
No, you're right. You're right. No, because we know he doesn't want to be Okada Jr. He wants to be Will Ospreay. That's why I said it like that.
That is the God of Japan. You obviously we know what Okada can do. We also know Okada put Adam Cole out for 7 months, so maybe we get a match between them sometime. But
yes, please.
But great match, great story going in. Promos were just piping hot.
Oh,
I think the wrong man won. But if we get a Kenny versus Okada situation with Will and Kenny, and that leads up to next year's
Forbidden Door.
We'll get a match at Forbidden Door. I think Will Ospreay will probably win, or maybe he'll win by DQ. But to get that and then have that leading up to the Wrestle Kingdom next year, where it could possibly be a Kenny and Will, probably round 2, round 3, round 4, and Will finally gets it back and is able to, reach the heights that he wants to reach, which I think he did already. People have to realize all of these people were beat up and bruised. They have been wrestling through this pandemic for 2 straight years.
Still doing the tournaments.
Still doing tournaments.
God.
Still, risking their bodies for the entertainment of us. Man lost his best friend. Had struggled with bouts of depression and is still there. You can see the depression in his post-match, commentary. I even had to tweet out. I said, somebody check on Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
because he's been silent. I haven't been seeing anything. But he just wrestled in Rev Pro, so he's okay.
well,
But
he did his promo after New Year's Dash too. He seemed much better.
well, give it time. We'll get something like that. And then what else? We have Okada versus Jay White.
Great match. We
it's
knew that was going to be a great match.
great match as always, but I don't feel the wrong man won. But at the same time, Jay has been doing his damn thing for the whole 2 years. He needs a break.
Yeah,
he needs
for sure.
break. A mental
for
break,
sure.
just a physical break. So if him versus Hikuleo ends in his loss, then he gets the break and he disappears wherever the hell he wants to.
Yep.
Another is FTR versus
yes,
Malone, and that ended up pretty decent. But FTR loses the belts again. But also we find out that FTR is actually taking a break, a very long break for a while, maybe a few months.
It's a good thing.
Pop up whenever. What else? Suzuki-gun finally breaking up, and the formation of just 4 guys.
Yeah, I know they don't have a name yet. It's hilarious.
And
dude, the light
TMDK reuniting.
Oh yeah. Well, not even just reuniting, growing.
Oh, they added I forget
one of the young boys.
I forgot his name.
Or one of the young lions.
Sugita?
I think so.
Something Sugita, maybe. But yeah, they added a young boy. I think that's fine.
Yo, we can't. I would be remiss if I did not mention the junior tag team championships. Shit, what a match!
It's only been it's only been 2 people that title's been bouncing back between. Yeah, honestly, Despi's gone. Despi's not really doing much. It's him and Suzuki supporting Red Narita, so we'll get a bit of strong style out of him. But it's always been Hiromu Takahashi and.
No. The tag titles, not the. Even though that junior heavyweight match too. That four. Oh my god, what a match!
Right, but it's always gonna flip flop between those 2 guys. At some point,
Takahashi is.
I think
he's had it for what, 4 or 5 times.
Right, but I'm saying if Ishimori puts on some weight and goes to heavyweight class, can't stop that man.
Yeah, he's going to be a monster in heavyweights.
Can't stop that.
So, final thoughts, anybody?
Nah, nothing much for me.
Cool. All right. Well, gents,
was great. Life is great, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I feel better.
Hey, listen, we're breathing, right?
Hardly.
So, yeah, put the fix here, bro.
I did.
Oh, okay. Well, gentlemen, as always, let's do what we do.
Follow it. You might learn something.
Simple and clean.
I might be able to teach you something. You never know. Just follow. You see them down there. I know you can read. I don't have to teach you that. Just follow those accounts. You might learn something.
I don't know. You might, bro. Depending on who it is. QS, you can follow him on Forever Thiefin, both on Instagram and Twitter. The man's active. You want to see him rant? Check out his Twitter. It's amazing.
Thank you, 2023. It's been a wonderful, wonderful 2022 for me. Just, growing, building brands and stuff of that nature. 4 Corners of Commentary is building their brand as well and doing what they do best, which is expanding and doing new things. But thank you, everybody. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, just the same at StrykerDragoon, and YouTube at StrykerDragoon131. Now that I am at 102 as of today subscribers, I am doing my double game giveaway. So all you have to do is, in the description, just click that video, and you will see my thank yous to everybody for helping the channel, as well as just a little tidbit to be eligible. All you have to do is just comment, "Thank you, Dragoon Haven," under the video, and you will be entered into the giveaway. Also subscribe, please. I'll be checking. But just thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody whom pops out for these episodes. we are long-winded at times. But thank you, everybody. Have a great night. I'll see you on PS5 maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
And as always, you can find me, K Marvel, at Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Marvel87. Also, please check out my brand new show with my co-host Ronnie Harris called A Different Angle. That is Instagram and Twitter, ADA Pod 2023, ADA POD 2023. You can also go to prn.live to watch our show Fridays at 5 p.m. every week. Tomorrow we have a brand new episode with Steve Simpson, who is an author. We talk about suicide and we talk about child abuse and just some of the things that we've been through. So tomorrow's episode is going to be crazy. Hope y'all check that out. As always, you can follow the pod on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Council of Commentary. Excuse me. You can follow us on TikTok at Council of Commentary, and you can follow us on Twitter at CO Commentary. Also, you could wrong one. You could find us on all of your favorite streaming platforms, some being YouTube again, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, and iHeartRadio. Guys, love y'all. Thank everybody for watching, commenting. We love y'all. We're so appreciative. This is 2003. There's a lot of big things going on. We are so excited to give y'all fresh new content. And as always, we are your Four Corners of Commentary. And we out. Peace.